Up next, the most hilarious segment of the night, and this one is in an ironic way. Jerry Lawler and the Bella Twins.
Where do we even start?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh my god. So much hilarity in this. Okay, well,
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
oh yes,
And
we'll
by
get
the
to
way, for
that.
those of you that have no freaking clue what I'm referring to, it's a movie called The Room, and it's very well known as one of the worst movies of all time, but because of that, it's also very well known as one of the most hilarious movies of all time because it's so bad that it's genuinely entertaining. And that's exactly what this frickin' segment was. And the really sad part about it is a lot of the line delivery that the Bella Twins delivered was on it was on the same level. It was on par with some of the line delivery in The Room. And one of the big things that people criticize The Room for is the fact that the line delivery, it just sounds like the people don't even understand the lines that they're reading as they're saying the words. And that's exactly what this segment was with the Bella Twins.
Dude, they tried so well, maybe I shouldn't even say that, but it appeared, I'll say it that way, that they tried so hard to tug at the heartstrings, to get you invested, to say, no, these two sisters can't be apart. I mean, you literally, I couldn't even believe this. I had to hear it again, and when I did, I just bursted out laughing. You had Brie Bella come on and say, I mean, when our mother got an ultrasound, they saw Nikki and I, and we were holding hands inside the womb. But then though, like before I lose it, Nikki being the heel, I can't even say that I have to give her credit, but I guess she's just trying to use whatever materials presented to her, because she harkens back to that later in the promo and she says, well, you were talking about us holding hands in the womb. Maybe it wasn't us holding hands. Maybe it was you doing what you've always done, holding me back. Guys, look, I'm sorry, okay? You know that Ashton and I, we've been very complimentary of women that we think bring it on a regular basis, whether it be NXT or things going on the main roster. But there's no defending this. I mean, this was just so awful, but it was hilarious. The idea that I think WWE wants to give this, like, not necessarily a big fight feel, but like a very personal bout, I just think is laughable. It's just not gonna work. It quickly devolved into like Jerry Springer Maury show territory, because Nikki was like throwing accusations Brie's way about how when they were in high school, Brie stole every boy that Nikki was interested in. I'm sure that's something Cena would like to hear about. And I'm just like, what is going on? See, this is another case, much like that person who we said, you know, it never even happened, so we're not going to mention it again, where something that should be very simple and very effective, a betrayal. You know, the person that I have said, you're my family, I will love you for life, even though Brie went the weird route and said we'll always be sisters for life, which, as Ashton has noted multiple times, is obvious. I mean, it's kind of in your genetics. You know, you go that route, but instead now they're trying to make it seem like it was this whole lifetime of abuses against Nikki that are being falsely charged, you know, to Brie, and it just, why? Why can't it just be a...
How dare you try to be better than me?
And then Brie, and I'm sorry again. Like, I get what Brie is trying to do.
Yeah, like, to me,
but
Nikki is comically bad at acting. Brie is cringeworthy bad at acting.
Yeah, dude, I can't even really say that I was annoyed, because I don't think that would be true. Because again, I found the whole thing to be hilarious. But when Nikki is leveling all these charges against Brie for being such a bad sister and this, that, and all Brie can manage to do is, that's not true. That's not true. It's like, what is going on?
Dude, I'm telling you, they have a bunch of freaking 12-year-olds writing this crap. It's just like with Lana with the whole shut up crap. What are you, a 13-year-old girl? Learn some English.
I just feel like, dude, why can't it be enough? Why can't it be enough that on the biggest match of Brie's career because she was defending the honor of her husband, and in her own words, I mean, not even trying to make it something that it wasn't, but she was defending the honor of all the people that the authority had ever abused. I mean, she even name dropped them, which was something you had a problem with. And Nikki cost her that chance. That should be enough, given everything that both of them have been subjected to leave Brie in a state of confusion and just hurt. Like, why? And then Nikki would say what Stephanie's been saying this whole time. Because you abandoned me, which to Nikki's credit, she does mention it. But it's almost like an afterthought. It's not the main idea. And that's the problem. They're trying to make the main idea something that never was. Why? Just like they were trying to make a main source of tension, you know, Daniel Bryan being a philanderer, again, something that never was. Why? When reality is giving you ample enough material, things that we've seen from week to week. You know, I don't understand it. If there was ever a time to keep the KISS model in mind, which for those who don't know, it's keep it simple, stupid. It's this angle. It's this storyline. And I just don't understand why they're not adhering to it.
Yeah. Dude, I think that your very carefully placed criticism of this feud is gonna just completely go to waste, because even if the WWE would happen to listen to TwitWow, I don't think that any of our criticism would actually land.
Oh, no, dude, here's the thing. I don't say it because I expect it to land. I mean, you and I have had discussions about this. That's why we laugh this stuff off. One, because it is genuinely hilarious. And two, you don't have any power. You're one in a demo that consists of thousands, if not millions. I mean, WWE does pull over 4 million on a regular basis on USA
they
Network.
generally get pretty close to the 5 million mark, actually.
Exactly. So, dude, I understand that to even say that I'm a guppy in this ocean, I think even that's an overestimation.
Krill.
Yeah, that, or, I mean, kelp, for God's sake. You know, it's ridiculous, but...
Now let's just name all the small things in the ocean.
Yeah, there you go.
Jellyfish.
Pebbles. I mean, whatever the frig you want to say about
Pufferfish.
Pufferfish. Oh, we're really gonna do this impromptu biology lesson on TwitWow. See the quality education you receive when you tune in, guys. But
hey, John.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go find Nemo.
Oh God, that friggin' movie.
So good.
But you excited for Finding Dory? But anyway, before we go down that
Wait,
route.
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, that's actually a thing.
Oh God.
Yeah, Ellen DeGeneres was pushing for a sequel for like the longest time, and she finally got it.
That's funny.
Yeah. But anyway,
Ellen.
See, that tells you everything you need to know about this segment. Like, you're probably listening and thinking, did that just happen? Yes, it did. Did it really happen that Nikki beat the bejesus out of Brie with a microphone?
With a microphone? Oh
yes!
My God.
Yes, it did!
Let me just throw this out there, though, John. Because you can talk about this segment all you want, but you cannot talk about this segment without pulling out the big guns that Nikki threw at Brie before she started attacking her. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Oh, God.
I wish you died in the womb.
Oh, God, I always knew I was a horrible person. That just confirmed it.
And the worst part is, not only did she say that, but when Jerry Lawler tried to intervene, she said, "Stay out of this, old man! Get out of the ring!" And the crowd popped for it.
Dude, that's the scary part, is I think people were genuinely more entertained by Nikki, and I wouldn't even say sympathetic with her, but maybe they were. Maybe that wouldn't be hyperbolic. But they were certainly more entertained by her than they were Brie.
Yeah.
That's without question. And I was too, because I beat her with the microphone. Like, what? Dude, this whole thing, and the idea that they used being in the womb is like the central theme of like protest and contention at the same time.
It's like they really need to drive home the point that they're actual twins.
We were in a womb, damn it!
Together at the same time.
Like every other twin or just human being ever conceived. I don't know. I don't know. It was hilarious, but it was hilarious for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, there have been times when they do, like, tag team feuds or brother versus brother feuds, like, that I really couldn't get into, even watching them back now. Like, Edge and Christian's first feud, I really couldn't get into. I thought it was missing a little something. I commend them for trying, and it was certainly better than what we're getting now. But sometimes these things don't work, and I know we've been saying, like, for a long time, Nikki going heel and this and that, and I think it could have worked, but under this model, it's not. I almost wish that they wouldn't have split and that Brie would have just gotten her victory at SummerSlam and we could move on from this, but, you know, it's continuing, so we gotta grin and bear it.
Oh, yeah. Indeed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just one of those things, man. I mean, I don't know. I think the funniest thing about this, not only was it the whole "I wish you had died in the womb" line and the calling Lawler an old man and telling him to get out of the ring and the crowd popping for it and the whole microphone beatdown. She took off her shoes and threw them at her. Like, if there is a more Jerry Springer action to do, I don't know about it, because that is the most Jerry Springer thing I've ever seen on a Raw, and he's been on Raw before.
I'm almost slightly convinced that Jerry even looked away from the screen when he's watching this. Like, people are comparing my show to this segment. Like, just so ridiculous. But you know what? I will say this. I don't know if I could necessarily forgive it. I think that's giving it way too much credit. But I hope next week that because Nikki said, I wish she would have died in the womb, that Brie just, you know, we see Brie mode in an actually badass way, and she says, fine, if you don't really have a sister, then I won't feel bad about beating the crap out of you, insert match date here, whenever they're going to have their confrontation. Because Brie needs
champions, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So, you know, like, Brie needs to start showing a backbone to me, because when you say something like that, then to me, if you're a babyface, but then again, you got to understand, I was spoiled by the likes of Mick Foley and those like that who would do those kinds of things. That's when you develop reckless abandon and you say, you know what? Screw it. If you're going to be like that, I'm just going to beat the living crap out of you, and I'm not going to think twice. And that's how I would really like Brie to be next week if Nikki wants to go that far and make it that personal. But I'm just going to keep laughing at this feud until something interesting happens.
Can we just take a brief moment to establish the fact that all of Stephanie McMahon's heat is now completely irrelevant to this feud, as she's not involved in it anymore at all?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's put the pieces in motion, and Stephanie, I wouldn't be surprised, nor would I blame her, if she was in the back laughing at the TV that they're trying to produce, be like, oh, Bella Twins, I set you up to fail. Oh, man.
It's Stephanie's... Oh, Bella Twins, I was in the same room as you last week, and now everybody's going to get to see just how awful you are.
Yeah, and they'll know the true talent was me. Stephanie, that's, yeah, I'd say that's stating the obvious territory. So,
it was me, Nikki! It was me all along, Nikki!
Oh my god, the higher power of actual talent! Stephanie's got a real...
Oh, son of a bitch.
Jim Ross. even he couldn't have saved this. That no good harlot, and just like he would have gone on a tangent, and then Jerry would have been like, well, calm down, JR, and he's like, you don't do that to his sister, and I would have been like, Jim, I love you, but you know you want to laugh just as much as the rest of us.
This is hilarious.
Even your barbecue sauce couldn't have made this delicious. But,
and then, to top it all off, Brie Bella is crying in the ring. And by the way, I just want to throw this out there. Brie Bella's sad face is almost as unattractive as John Cena's angry face. And from afar, Nikki yells, "You're dead to me, Brie!"
Where have we heard that before? I feel like this is the first time we've heard that in a WWE context. Or maybe I'm thinking of a TV show where I've heard that before. But yeah.
No, there was another time. I'm trying to remember. That definitely happened before, though.
Yeah, and just like, yeah, you're dead to me. And like, oh, death blow. As if saying you should have died in the womb wasn't bad enough.
No, right?
Like,
and that's not even like just telling somebody to stay out of your life. That's like telling somebody that you are putting so much of your personal effort into hating them that you legitimately think the world would be better off without them in it.
Yeah, it's pretty much saying, if you're Nikki DeBree, it's even an inconvenience to me that you're even living. And yeah, you
It's
don't get any.
literally more convenient for me to go out of my way to hate you than it is for me to accept the fact that you exist.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get any worse than that.
I'm
so...
going to no-sell our mother giving birth to you.
All of the Christmas presents should have been mine.
And hope that you do the same.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just expecting next week with Nikki just coming out with all these charges, just being like, well, Mom always gave Brie the better birthday parties and the better Christmas gifts. And it's like, go to a therapist. Like, contact Dr. Shelby. Do something.
I've heard of daddy issues, but this is ridiculous.
Pretty much. Oh, my God, the way you said that. Oh, God. Nobody is taking this seriously. We devoted 2 minutes of what was supposed to be this segment to talk about Finding Dory. Nobody is taking this seriously. Suck less, you two. Suck less.
Do you think they just go home after this and they're just like, wow, Nikki, you really seemed angry in there. And then Nikki's just like, yeah, I know. I've really been working on my acting skills. And then Bree's just like, yeah, it's really paying off. How do you think mine were? And Nikki's just like, oh, you were all right. I don't know. I think you could use some work. And then Bree's just like, psh, yeah, like you have room to talk. And then you just see freaking Bray Wyatt walk by and he's just like rolling his eyes at how bad of actors they are.
I know, right? It's like, Bray is looking at that and it's like, well, I've seen it. I've officially seen the physical manifestation of amateur hour. And it's just like he waltzes off. And then when Brie goes home to tell Daniel about it, he's like, yeah, I've never been known for my promos, but, it was pretty bad.
and then Bree's just like, wait, you didn't think I did good? And then Brian's just like, well, I could say yes, but I was always taught not to lie. So,
well, I think
kind of a conflict of interest here.
I think Brian, even though Brian's never been known to be a dick, unless you saw his heel work, and some of it was hilarious. Like, he would channel the inner heel he was back in, what was it, Ashton? I want to say 2010.
2012? 2011?
2011, yeah, somewhere around there. And he'd say, well, Brie, let me put it to you this way. The farming practices that you and I vehemently protest against were more humane than what you committed in that ring. And then he just leaves. It's just that bad.
Yeah, Brie, I just wanted to let you know, when you had that segment, Josie farted. And I think that was symbolic.
And I had a burger in the hopes that the artery-clogging goodness would put me in a coma so as to avoid the rest of that segment. Daniel, I'm sorry, I was taught not to lie. Oh, man, just that whole thing. What was it even? I don't even know.
The Room Twin Edition.
I mean, I'm telling you, dude, that's 2 segments, because even though Stephanie's kind of bottomed out, and you could consider this a new program, being Brie and Nikki, like the whole thing, you have the one, like, philanderer segment, which I'll refer to it now, because I don't even refer to it by the actress's name, and now, like, this whole twin reconciliation, as Jerry Lawler called it. Brilliant plan, Jerry! And another thing, too, he made it seem throughout the whole night that this was his idea. Way to get involved. Way to moderate the damn thing.
I mean, he tried pulling Nikki off of Brie, but then he ended up getting slapped. But we wouldn't know that because the camera didn't actually catch it. Thanks a lot, Don.
Yeah, he's pretty awful.
Pretty awful? John, you're overestimating him far too much.
Anything else you want to say about this, man?
What is there to say?
Nothing at all.
What is life? What is anything?
I don't even know. I feel like
What are your thoughts on thoughts, John?
Dude, I feel like my perceptions of time, space, just everything have just been distorted after witnessing that. Like, you don't live in the same world after witnessing something like that. So, yeah, I'm just gonna let sleeping dogs lie, and let's hope we never talk about this segment again.
Have you ever seen the game Watch Dogs?
I've heard a lot about it. It looks pretty beastly, to be honest.
It is pretty beastly. Way better than this segment, that's for sure.
Was that the only purpose? this sucked.